This is another study. We'll take a birthday of April the 24th, 1953. If you add up all the numbers together, their life path comes to a 46-1. And if you want to look at it individually, they're a one life path. They're put in circumstances that will cause them to learn independence. Now, if you look at their achievement, April 24th, added together, it's a 28-1 achievement. Now, I was making up a chart supposing that it was 2015. Of course, I'm in 2016 now. But 2015 adds up to an 8 year. So in an 8 year, with an achievement of 28, you add 28 and 8, and you get 36 for the first pinnacle, which is right here on top. You add the 36 and the 28, and that adds up to 64, and that's the second pinnacle. And of course, if you reduce the number by addition, a 36 is a 9, and a 64 is a 1. And then you add 64 and 36, and you get like 100, and so we put it down as a 10 just to simplify it. And then you add 36 and 8 is 44, and that's the last pinnacle for 2015. So what we're doing is, in one case before, I was showing you how to do the pinnacles for a lifetime. If we took the whole life, but if you're looking at a particular year, this would be the layout for a year. If we were doing a life, then you would minus 1 from the universal number 36, and you'd start getting the 0 through 35 and all of that. But in a year, seeing that we hit 2015, which is an 8 year, and added to the achievement, 1953 doesn't come into play now. We're just looking at the achievement and the year that you're in, period. And these would be 3 month increments. So there's 3 months of 2015, 6 months, 9 months, and 12 months. So we're talking about 4 quarters. And it gives you the pinnacles and the challenges. To get the challenges, you reduce. 28 minus 8 is 20, or you could say a 2. And 28 minus 36 is 8. And then you minus 8 from 20, and you get 12. And 36 from 8, which is 28. So when we look at that, we see that what the challenges are. The challenges are in the bottom, and they're the minus. And remember, these are 3 month increments of the year 2015. So we say that there's an ending that has to do with a relationship or a friendship or a concern over a female or a partner, and there's something ending in relationship to that in the first quarter of 2015. In the second quarter, there's a financial challenge there, and some kind of new start in the second quarter. The third quarter, because you got a 9 and a 1, it brings it back to a 1. And we're looking at the 12, which is a sacrifice, a 12 or a 3. And don't forget, that would include somebody that's born in December, Sagittarius, or March, or a Pisces, perhaps, or somebody born on the 3rd, 12th, 21st, or 30th of any month. Then the last quarter is a financial thing. You took 36 and 8, and you got 44, but when you minus 36 and 8, you get 28. And there's a question of independence, of something financial happening. And the 2 4s usually mean that there's some papers or forms or figures that got to be done, but there's always something devious or a mistake about it. Now, for the year 2015, rather than, we were doing lives before, you could also make up the astronumerology. So if they were in a 9 cycle in 2015, you put the ones from their birthday in the 9 column, the 2 in the 1 column, because it rotates back here. They had 1 3, 2 4s, there's 1 4, 2 4s, and so on. And what we see here is that they have the diplomatics arrow there, the organized. The bottom has 2 out of 3 numbers. They're trying to straighten out finances. There might be some deviousness, because remember I said 44 is a devious number, and there's 2 4s, and it means something not being right or some problem with some financial or paper, insurance, or legal matter. So this gives you an idea of how you could take 1 year and use the astronumerology as well as pinnacles and challenges. Now, if we would take the same period and we want to find out about June, you actually just add the year 2015, which is 8, and June, which is 6. You get 14.5. You now use their achievement again. It never changes. It's still 28. It's 28 all their life. And then you start figuring 28 and 14 is 42, 42 and 28 is 70, 70 and 42 is 100 and whatever, and it comes to 13. And then 42 and 8 is 42 and 14, and you start hitting these things. Now you'll notice that this is in June. So if it's in June, these are weekly increments. And in the 3rd week of June, they hit some kind of concern about a change in place and plans and reorganizing. And if you look at June, they took some action. The line of action is very strong. And also the line of strength, look at that, 44, 9, and 5 is very strong. They're not as organized as they usually are, like up here, where they were for the whole year. In other words, June, they're not as organized. But look, they have the arrow of strength, the arrow of action. So I just wanted to show this to give some basis. This is a little advanced, and I was starting to use what they call the Kabbalistic lessons here. And the Kabbalistic lessons are double numbers. Compound numbers relate to things behind the scenes, and single numbers relate to what's happening physically. So I'm going to start getting into the Kabbalah.